Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Diabetic Triathlete. Some of you guys are new, and some of you guys have been with us for a while. Welcome. And to be perfectly honest, I haven't been posting in a while, but starting today, I am putting together a 90-day, pull this down a little bit. Today I'm putting together a 90-day, not 90-day, but a 30-day video compilation each day for 30 days. I'm posting productivity, growth, transition. If you go back to some of the videos that have already been posted, you can see the transition and the growth that has occurred and certain goals and positioning that I've been trying to accomplish. And sure enough, it's some things I've accomplished and some things I haven't. If you review, there's been videos of my A1C going down significantly, the specific products that I've used to work on that, as well as my workout regimens, which is something that I try to focus on considerably, as well as my eating habits and the emotional aspect of this whole process. So I got to tell you, this process is not an easy road, because it's not just about eating. It's not just about what you eat or how you work out or anything of that nature. It's the transition, psychological transition, metabolical transition that is happening throughout this process. The restructuring of your metabolism, the thoughts in your minds, the killing of specific parasites, and you actually restructuring yourself to be a brand new person. And it's difficult. It's not easy. It's not an easy process. Now, we could tell ourselves it's easy, and that'll help a bit. But also understand that I'm here for you as an accountability partner, as someone where if you go to the videos, you'll see, hey, I'm working through this process just like everybody else. Sometimes people relapse. I've done it before, just like everybody else, other people. Holidays might come up, Thanksgiving, or even if you're a churchgoer, on a certain days after church, like Sundays after church, some churches have dinner, and I'm talking about, those potato rolls and different things, and those things spike your sugar significantly. Now, what we also talk about is the insulin aspect, as far as utilizing insulin and the process of transitioning from that. Now, I'm not a medical doctor, so reach out to your professional, your primary care endocrinologist, and see what they say, obviously. But we also know, if you do some research and do some study, that there's a bit of caveat. There's a gray area with what many doctors say is right to do versus others. And if you know my story, you know that there have been times where I have gone to the hospital in the past. It actually doesn't happen often now, thank God. But I've gone to the hospital. The longest I've been in the hospital for was about a month. Yeah, was a month. I'll say a month. But that was because of COVID, and the combination of COVID, and that was different. But prior to that, it's been 3 weeks. Um, and it's been a couple of years since that has happened. But understand that once each time I went to the doctor's office, they have the same procedure. They do your blood work, they connect you to all these things, they have you sit there and wait, and then they look at your test results, and then they tell you, oh, you're this, you're that, you need this, you need that, da 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 da. You might need a nutritionist, you might need a someone to help you in terms of movement, that kind of thing. And each time I went, I noticed that they provided a nutritionist. I noticed that the doctors all said the same exact thing when it came to high blood sugar. And then when I proceeded to ask for alternative options, they said there were none. They just looked at me weird. When in fact, I was aware that there was. The last time I went, not the last time, but every time that I went, they would give me things that had nothing to do with my circumstance to assist with the help of my circumstance. They would give me for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. They would give me full meals, ices, peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. I mean, with thick chunks of like peanut butter and jelly. But what I noticed over time was that when I had breakfast, which consisted of eggs, sausage, and the sausage was like the banquet box sausage, scrambled eggs. I think it was like one piece of toast or something to that effect, and black coffee. That it actually kept my sugar levels low, or lower than when I had just a regular standard like meal with a lot of carbs and starches. And it's obvious because that meal had a lot more protein, and even though there was toast included with it, the drink that I had was black coffee, which is a bean. Remember, coffee is a bean, so I think it kind of regulates the carb intake. Plus, on top of that, I was taking the insulin from the hospital. So let's caveat that also. Be honest. Knowing that, when I left the hospital, I took that information and I utilized it home and tested variations of the scenario. And just to give you a heads up, lunchtime, usually it was string beans, baked chicken. What else? Sometimes they gave me a very small portion of potatoes, stuffing, which stuffing raised my sugar, raised my glucose. But I love stuffing, baby. And other things. They gave me ices and juices and sodas, diet sodas and stuff like that. But I noticed even with the diet soda, the small containers of diet soda, depending on which diet soda it is, raised or kept my sugar levels at a certain length. And so, for example, if I had obviously Schweppes ginger ale, nothing would happen. But if I had Diet Coke, not saying for you to have these things and it was small containers, so not saying for you to have those things. But when I had Diet Coke, my sugar levels didn't go as high as when I had Diet Sprite or Schweppes ginger ale, Diet ginger ale. Schweppes Diet Ginger Ale, it went up as high as Sprite, Diet Sprite. So just be mindful. I know ginger ale is ginger, but you got to look at the ingredients and look at the coloring, natural flavors, all these artificial things that actually contradict what the body is supposed to intake. Okay? So just be mindful. Anyway, I took all that information and came home and began eating for breakfast because I love breakfast. Whether I eat it in the morning or afternoon or what have you, I love it. I love breakfast. I don't know about other people, but I do. I love the eggs. I love the sausage. And, lunchtime, dinner time, baked chicken, things of that nature assist with this, process of lowering what it is that you need to lower in terms of A1C. Now, if we are doing this from a 30-day perspective, in which I've done before, I would do a twofold process where not only are you changing your eating habits slowly, but you're also utilizing certain herbs that reverse the ailments that you have in your system. Even though the body does it on its own, it's an option. But if you take, for example, Yaki Awaken, which you could go back to my videos and look at the short video about that, about Yaki and how it lowered my A1C and lowered my sugar levels and things of that nature. But that'll be helpful. It's a quick video. But there's also another individual, a young lady who lives in Jamaica, who has detox herbs that reverse and kills parasites and different things. And these herbs, the reason why I'm telling you to go to these folks, one, they're very reputable, and two, because I've seen it work for me and I've seen it work for other folks. Okay? So you have the capacity to do this. You have the ability to grow from this. What I'll do is, once I figure out what her, I'm trying to remember what her name is on there. Whatever. When I find it, I'll put it up. And excuse me. And you'll be able to get the information from there. But if you don't have the funding, it's less expensive to do it through the young lady than it is through Yaki. Even though Yaki's program is great, everything they get is natural, it's imported. As far as from a financial perspective, it's better to get it from her, financial. But if you have the funds to get it from Yaki, get it from Yaki. And also, if you have $1,200 to $1,500 laying around for him to do a consultation, a full-blown consultation, I would suggest do the consultation and see how it works out. You never know. It might be helpful. But remember, this is a gradual process. This is not an overnight process. This is, you are becoming a new person. You are changing your habits. Trust me, you got to get out of the dopamine hit. Stuff that I'm working on also. Okay? From health to finance, all these things. And when your brain begins to reset itself, kill those, what they call demons off, with those parasites trying to tell you what to do so they can survive, you'll begin to feel better. You'll see yourself differently. You'll see the weight loss. You'll go to the doctor. The doctor say, oh, you lost another 10 pounds, things of that nature. And, it'll feel great. It'll feel great. Also, too, if you have prescriptions for like Manjaro or something to that effect, and in the beginning stages, if you're using those things, please continue to use those things. while you're going through this process. Okay? Um, this way, your body doesn't have a crazy reaction. Once again, speak to your primary care physician, endocrinologist about it, you know. But I'm more of like a scientist. I'm skeptical. I'll check, try different things. I don't trust everybody 100%. I'm going to tell you that right now. I don't. And I'll tell you this, don't trust me 100% either. Go do your own research. Go find your own stuff. Get your own things together. But I've decided I've gone ahead and put this YouTube channel together because I felt I've been seeing too many of our people dying, too many people dying in general of various health issues. The mother from Home Alone died, said she had some ailments. A couple of other folks died recently because of ailments. Let's reverse that. Let's get back to our original state, ladies and gentlemen. You know, I know it feels good when you just chill. I'm more uncomfortable with just hanging around and not doing anything. There's some people that's content with that work hard and then decide, hey, I'm gonna take a week or weekend or whatever, and I'm going someplace. I did that too long when I was a kid. I wish I would have known then what I know now about life, about growth, about financial stability, because I would have been, even though at 14 I did start working and I loved it. I loved it, having money in my pocket, throwing my mother some change, going and getting my own, clothes and different things. I felt independent. And you should too, right? But understand, yes, go ahead, relax, do what you got to do. If you're that type of person that feels like they need to just chillax, then please do. By all means. I'm not telling you not to do that because a lot of times we need to do that to restructure, reset. But when I relax because I worked out hard. I went to work, deal with the stress at work, and I'm on a Saturday, a Sabbath. I'm not doing anything. Okay? So, yeah. The other thing is the transition from eating the way that you used to eat originally to the way that you're going to be eating now and working out now requires for you to set up some type of calendar, set up some type of structure where when you look at that calendar every day, you know this is the day that I have to work out. Now, I'm going to tell you this ahead of time. You are going to be fighting for your life when it comes to this up here, when it comes to voices in your head or your feeling of wanting this oatmeal raisin cookie from Tate's or what you normally are used to doing, because your body will begin to see, hey, this is a different structure than what I normally do. I'm uncomfortable. Stick with what you've been doing because I don't know how this is going to affect your life. So understand that when these things happen, when you create your calendar, when you create your day, sit down, create a structured day of how you plan on of starting this process, when you plan on eating, if you plan on fasting, if you plan on working out, all those things on the calendar. Remember, when your brain starts to tell you to do otherwise than what you know is supposed to happen to make you healthier, you stop. I'm telling you, stop what you're doing. Take a deep breath and think about it. Before you make any decision, stop and think about it. Think about your finances. If it's something you have to go and purchase, or something in the cookie jar. Think about your finances. Do I already have this in the house? Do I have a substitute in the house? If I do, then I'm going home and I'm going to get that out of my refrigerator. 2, if you're at a Target or wherever and you get that craving, supermarket or what have you, stop and say, from a financial perspective, with where my budget is it in my budget to purchase this item? Look at how much the item is. And then, is it in my health budget to eat this? Health budget to eat this. If any one of those are no, keep on pushing. Now, what I've been doing and what's helped me every month. Now, if you ask my mother, she'll say otherwise. Don't do it. Don't test yourself. But every month, what I've been doing is this. Every month, I've set a day that I've told myself, I've done this all month. This is the day I'm going to have my sweets. One day, I'm going to have my sweets. And this could be sweets as far as food, cookies, whatever. Or some people smoke cigarettes or drink liquor. This is one day. I'm going to do it this day. Now, in that circumstance, sometimes you have friends that say, hey, I want to go out. I want to do this. I want to do that. Do you want to come? And you say yes. You go out with them and you have that, then will be your day of sweets. If you go to a store or something and you have a sweet potato pie or a blueberry pie or whatever you decide to have, that'll be the day. But guess what? The rest of the month, your A1C has been low. Your sugar levels have been low enough to where your A1C is at 5.4, 6.6, single digit numbers. Not 10, not 11, not 15. Okay? Get it to that point. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start putting separate videos together for you guys for these individual situations. For example, calendar updates. For example, when and how you structure your workouts. Setting up goals like Ironman, 5Ks in your neighborhood, things of that nature. Getting with groups, focusing, getting your mind right. Ways to get around fasting a structure. Okay? So that's what we're going to do, ladies and gentlemen. And get with my suggestion too also is this process is a lonely process. You have family, unless you have family and stuff. If you're single, this is kind of lonely. When you have family, sometimes it's lonely too. But get with the group, Rotary Club, your local lodge, whatever clubs you have. What's it called? Country clubs or whatever groups you have in your area to assist with this process. Now, I'm considering putting together a group also that are all managing this A1C process, especially, and then everybody learns from each other. Why not? I'm trying to, people have said that there's a Sugar Anonymous, Sugar Anonymous program like AA, but I haven't seen it yet. But it'll be something that I'm going to look into to see if we could build these facilities that assist people with sugar cravings. So just like in AA, you got to stay in a facility, or Drug Anonymous, you stay in a facility for a certain amount of time. You go through this process, maybe 2-3 months, something like that, gets you back to where you want to go. You got workout gyms, you got healthy food, things of that nature. But it depends. Anyway, I think that's going to assist with your growth, with your transition. And like I said, this is going to be a 30-day process, 30-day video, starting today. 30 days. Today is the 1st of February. So day 1 to day 30, we're going to have videos. I'm going to probably put these videos up every morning. That way individuals could see the videos every morning and see how. Hopefully this will assist with the transition of your life to make you better. It's not going to be easy. There's going to be a process. Trust me. But understand that this is going to be for the better. Some of you who just starting out in your journey and just realizing that you have A1C issues, you have high blood sugar, it may hit you hard because a lot of the resolve will come from your insurance, if you have health insurance or not. If you don't have health insurance, you're going to have to find alternative means to get insulin or get the old Manjaro or Ozempic or whatever you use to assist. They have a lot of programs right now for that. But I noticed when I first got into this process and I found out the very first time, I think I was around 28, the very first time from the doctors, my job didn't provide the insurance that I needed. And when I went to CVS was charging me around $300 and something per month for the medication by itself. It was disheartening for me as well as for other people. So I understand, and I understand that this is going to be a growing transition. So let's take this one step at a time, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get this growth together, okay? Watch my other short videos, long videos, or what have you. I promise you, I'm going to do this in 30 days. I'm testing myself as well. And the first video, this is the first video, and I'm going to put another video out tomorrow morning, okay? So stick with me, subscribe, like, all that good stuff, and I'm going to help you and help myself get to that next phase. Have an amazing, blessed day, ladies and gentlemen, and I'll be speaking to you soon. Peace.